Hello and welcome to the first game of GP Florence. We have Mako, who's on blue-black reflected veil, versus Ambrose, who's on a four-color EurekaTell.
It looked like white veil, actually. I think there's like cyber tibia, and
Oh,
it's the only
okay.
white card, but
Yeah.
it does come up sometimes.
Well, so looking at the opening hands, Ambrose has a really good opening hand, right? They have turn 1 Seek Prophecy into hope to get more lands, I guess, actually, so maybe it's not as good as it looks.
Yeah, this kind is probably okay. Marcus can't seems also fine, but they don't really do anything. I guess they can like unforget and try to get somewhere. Okay, the middle is in the veil, so
Yeah. Like, that's actually
guess
fine, right? Because Mako can just try to mill themselves a bunch, get enough card types in the graveyard, and then unforget for Thin the Veil and get the combo on turn 4 or something.
yeah, like you guys will have like artifact sorcerer creation instant, and then something. I mean, it
Yeah.
could work out. So there's a Seek Prophecy.
Well, turn 1 Seek Prophecy is pretty
And it finds a land, I guess. Pretty easy land here.
Okay, so Amber has turn 4 Forest Fellowship with a Crane in hand, which is a very good thing to have with Forest Fellowship. And in case you don't know, Crane becomes active as soon as you put it in, so that includes in the middle of resolving spells and abilities. So if you Forest Fellowship in a Crane, now you control your opponent and you can force your opponent to dump their entire hand while you dump your hand of Planeswalkers. But yeah, Mako just cracks their Shifting Cascade, the new Shifting lands.
Old versions, I know. I need to remove the images, I guess.
But yeah, now you have to sack them during your upkeep, but they make untapped tokens.
This is probably easy inch too, but
I mean, turn 2 initiative is pretty good. Right to mill some more card types. There are 3 card types right now. Dawson will get them to 4. Actually, does Mako know how to play this deck? Because they just submitted the deck right before the deadline, so they probably just net decked it.
I mean, when you don't reveal your companion, it kind of means something.
I mean, I don't think Mako had a really companionable hand there, though.
I mean, isn't his lead for sure? What is he going to do? Statics Forgetfulness to make a skeleton and draw a card by taking Dawson's Loot? That doesn't seem too good.
I mean,
another show and tell target. Man, this show and tell gonna be so good.
Yeah, but Ambrose is 2 turns off their Forest Fellowship, and Mako is only 1 turn away from their Reflected Moment, assuming they can get it.
Reflected Moment is 4 mana, right?
Or Cinder Veil is 4 mana, and then yeah, you get Reflected Moment with that. So you need 6 card types. Zedek gets them to discard cards.
4 card types so far? 5, I guess, if you count Dawson's Loot. Okay.
Yeah, so if it's Zedek,
because draw and sack the Dawson's Loot.
Oh, right, they can sack the Dawson's Loot off that.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another land. I mean,
so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types.
What does this one do? Oh,
well,
oh no.
Well, they have 2 copies, so they can still get the other copy off.
Yeah.
Cinder Veil. But actually, yeah, they can't get enough card types.
I don't actually have 4 card types yet. Yeah.
Yeah, if they discarded polyp pools, then maybe they could have gotten there, but they had no way to discard the polyp pools.
But that's kind of the unforgettable. Like, there are 4 in this matchup. Karagic. I mean, this...
That wouldn't be a bad target to unforget for us, because that prevents the turn 4 show and tell from winning. I'm not sure if Mako is that forward thinking, though. Like, right now, the best play here is to unforget for Karagic and use it to counter the Forest Fellowship.
It's not really counter. It's like...
Well, delay it for a turn, which actually gets a Planeswalker into the yard.
Memory lapse, but other than that.
Well, it's an unsubstantiate, right?
Yeah. Doesn't even mill the card. I mean, maybe they find thing they on top. But Ambrose draws into the woods. Turn late.
Yeah, but Ambrose can still play it.
Last turn would be so strong.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really change much. If this Forest Fellowship resolves, then Mako just loses. So Mako needs to prevent the Forest Fellowship from resolving. And unfortunately, the way that Mako played didn't do that. In fact, why did it not play Dawson's Loot off the Shifting Morass? They have no reason to keep up a colorless mana anyways.
They also sort of veiled on top for some reason.
Wait, do they know that Reflected Moment or Cinder Veil is on top?
Yeah, I guess.
Off Initiative? That makes sense. Although I would prefer it if you just Dawson's Looted first and then you played Initiative, because you want to get the Dawson's Loot down so that you don't waste colorless mana. Okay, so let's see. Well, yeah, Mako's going to crack their Shifting Morass now. Let's see what they kept on top that they wanted to draw so much that they're willing to... Okay, yeah, it is Cinder Veil. But is there anything
but unfortunately, only 5 card types, so you cannot moment here.
Well,
I mean, maybe they mill with Initiative. They can find like Polypools on top or Planeswalker.
Right, that actually would be really good here.
Yeah.
Well, if they don't, what do they thin the veil for to prevent Ambrose from comboing off next turn?
Apologies. That doesn't work.
But like, is there anything Mako can do here to prevent
And find
Force Fellowship?
balls descent, but it's not just there.
Well, actually, Ball's Descent would. Oh no, never mind.
I mean, it takes like one of the planeswalkers, which is probably just my Tyrant of Tributes with Lord is pretty backbreaking. I just realized.
Well, yeah, but even one of the
because you
planeswalkers
choose one
is
opponent sacrifices.
right. So yeah, Mako does mill. Now they have 6 card types in graveyard, and that's why like they probably should have played Dawson's Loot first that turn before they played an issue, so that they had a chance of getting, or they had a better chance of getting 6 card types into yard in time for Thin the Veil on turn 4.
And with Forest Fellowship, you can't continue putting like more cards than your opponent had, right? Like if your opponent has all spells in hand,
Right. That well, I mean, it
you
doesn't
cannot put
matter.
another permanent. I mean, they have 2 lands, so
Yeah.
I guess for 5 mana they can forget, but what do they get? I don't know. Yeah, this isn't like game over here.
Wait, Ambrose does not start with that.
Oh.
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, that's pretty bad to me.
Well, I mean, I don't think. Wait, does.
I mean, Builder is still pretty good, but that's definitely not as good.
Yeah, because Ellison into Triumph Tributes, forcing opponents to sack their entire mana base.
So they cast a free spell, which is probably a Lord, and force Mako to discard Thin the Veil and then forget.
I guess, but like that's still. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ambrose still wins this, but they could have done it in a much nicer fashion, or at least dominating fashion.
Mako unforgets before Lord hits the board.
Actually, yeah, that would.
They have some chance.
They can unforget for Thin the Veil, and then cast Reflected Moment on their turn, and then maybe 2 turns is enough to. And wait, they don't even.
Very interesting. What does it do? +1 reanimate a creature. -3 make a Kraken draw card.
Yeah, I feel like that's a mistake. Ambrose had the win right there, and they
Yeah. There are like multiple ways to win the game, but
this isn't one of them. I mean, it still might be, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, they still can win because 2 planeswalkers on turn 4 is pretty good.
But at the same time, Mako taking 2 turns in a row on turn 5 is also pretty good.
Also, this reminds me that Tabby is actually very good in this matchup. The one time I played against the deck, I played Tabby of a Forest Fellowship and just exiled like 4 planeswalkers.
Wait,
Initial flips. That is a pretty weird way to play it. Because I would probably try to mill. Oh, they have 6 card types now.
Yeah,
because
I mentioned
got milled. Yeah,
I mentioned how if Mako doesn't die this turn, which they should have, but they didn't because Ambrose didn't plan the correct thing on Forest Fellowship. Yeah, they get to Thin the Veil for Reflected Moment.
Cool. So Mako takes 2 turns. Also, they're kind of close to just casting Reflected Moment from hand.
Well, but then that's not as good.
I mean, it's still a time walk.
I guess. Actually, right, Reflected Moment shuffled itself into its owner's library. Wait, so you can just go infinite with this, right? Huh.
It's not like exactly infinite, but...
Well, Mako can unforget for another Thin the Veil and then take 2 more turns, and then
Then the problem is, how do they get through the Kraken?
They have remove on their deck somewhere, right? They have
like Karaja, doesn't do it. Kalan Valor, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you can also like just attack, Valor with both things here.
Initiative has indestructible, so yeah, you can just try to attack.
Like it only deals 1 damage.
Wait, why are you trying to attack down the planeswalkers? You have infinite turns basically.
Like when Kraken dies, it probably will make more sense, but
well, Mako gets to sack their shifting cascade now.
Yeah, Davia would be so strong here because you take extra turns and just exile the Krakens from play.
I mean, good point, but at the same time, now you have 1 less card in hand that actually does stuff.
Polypools, I don't know, just sitting there and doing nothing. So look at the easy swap to me.
Probably play Reflected Moment. Yeah, that makes sense. Might as well spend all your mana instead of unforgetting for 3 mana and then...
You can also unforget for Reflected Moment, theoretically, and it triggers Prophecy.
Oh yeah, it does, but you have way less mana.
Yeah, that's not great. You probably just in the instead, but...
Also, I think the way you win... Cool. One way you can win is just you loop unforgets.
Loop unforgets?
Or can you do that? I mean, you have one Imagine in your deck, right? So you have Did you have
They
an
don't have an imagine. It has like its gravity recursion is belt descent.
Oh, and
What
it
does
got
belt descent
milled.
do? Let me check it. So you need 5 sums, which they do have, and then they can play cards from the graveyard, but they get exiled. I see. Okay, so
Well, Mako definitely unforgets for Thin the Veil here to get another reflected moment. But then what do they do after that? That's the question. I mean, they probably can find some way to win, but let us see what they do.
2 more turns. Draws normally. Oh wow, that is a pretty good draw.
Yeah, so they can Thin the Veil and then unforget for something that actually helps them. I think Clam Weller is probably what they want to do because
yeah,
gets rid of the Kraken. Wait, how's
yeah.
the skeleton still not dead yet?
Hmm?
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay,
Oh.
yeah, because the Kraken blocked an issue each time.
Yeah, there's this in the veil.
Yep.
We can also kind of just like find, I don't know, does Satanic Fossil do anything? Yeah, wait, no, it's mana value 3 or less. Why is Satanic Fossil in the deck? What does it
For
do?
paleontologists, so you can get artifacts to your graveyard.
Yeah, but it doesn't really do much in the deck, right? Because it only casts spells that cost 3 or less.
Well, if you have paleontologists, you can grab a fossil and polyp pools, and that gets
And it's
3
fine.
card
Yeah,
types into the yard.
yeah, that's pretty cool, honestly. I mean, you can also just find Guardian of Mysteries, which give you 4 card types.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, what happens? Oh, they drained the Dinish too. I see.
Oh, well, never mind. They
Oh,
don't
that is
even.
a talent valor.
I feel like Mako's getting all the
My
top
guy is
decks.
drawing pretty hot here.
Yeah, they don't even have the tutor for it. They can just save the tutors for. Well, I don't know what they're saving their tutors for, but they can save it for stuff.
We have 2 more turns, right? So I think if you just kill Kraken and then drain 1 time and then 3 more times,
Oh,
that is 8 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So they win. Yeah. This is pretty determinative to me. You just kill the Kraken and just drain the Mundinch too until they die.
it's safer to just unforget for your last Veil and then get another reflected moment, so you have even more time.
Works, but like
There's less chance of
they have like
miscalculations.
5 out of here. Please kill the Kraken. Okay.
Yep.
Callum dies. Like, I mean, they win this game either way. Man,
Yeah.
that was such a punt from Ambrose.
Wait, why is Mako attacking down Planeswalkers?
I mean, he wins either way if he like finds it in the veil. You can
Mhm.
also just find Reflected Moment and Prophecies. if
Yeah,
you want
but
to.
no, I feel like you should be attacking your opponent's face instead of their Planeswalkers because your opponent's Planeswalkers aren't going to be relevant this game. If your opponent gets
Sum it
untapped,
out.
then you've made a mistake.
Yeah. But also like you have 4 extra turns and you have a 4 or 5 in play. Does it matter?
I mean, you're kind of wasting damage here. Mako is going to unforget for Thin the Veil instead of directly unforgetting for Reflected Moment and saving the Thin the Veil. Not that it's really a problem or anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a problem because
They're wasting mana.
I mean, they're not wasting mana. They can use Inish too, I guess.
Actually, yeah, you can just initiate the redundant card or copies of card types.
4 extra turns here, and you're bidding down to the 4/5 and like draining 4 every turn.
Yeah.
It's my first time seeing this deck go off, or like actually seeing the deck do anything.
Honestly, that sort of similar for me. I didn't actually know Reflected Moment shoved itself into the deck. I thought it just exiled itself, so I thought you could only take 2 extra turns and then you would just win during those 2 turns. I didn't realize that this deck could just go infinite like this.
It's not infinite, but it's infinite enough.
Yeah, and Ambrose just concedes because they see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, that was such a mistake there.
Yeah.
Letting Mako untap after your show and tell.
Ambrose.
I guess Mako brings in like negates, right? Neutralizing's good.
Well, yeah, they bring in. Look at Cyborg. They bring in other counters, and I think that's probably it.
I mean, they can also bring in Callum Valor. It's an awful card, but it's not good enough, I guess.
Yeah, you're mostly just trying to stop your opponent and then get your own combo off. You don't really want to use a removal. And looking at Ambrose's side, they bring in their counter spells too. They have Poor Fracturing Curse Lands.
Honestly, I'm not sure what they can ever remove from the deck. Like, they could remove ramp spell, Thick Prophecy, 1 land or something.
No, you remove your Planeswalkers, I think. Because you really only need to
only have 2 copies of Elson Crane.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh, they have 2 more in sideboard. Yeah, I think they bring the Crane from sideboard because it's just way better than Tari in this matchup. Like, Tari did make a Kraken, but she also didn't do much.
Yeah. But you mostly want to be on Ellison and Tyrant Tributes.
I mean, I'm not sure about Tyrant. They do have a lot of junk permanents in play, like the enchantment, the draws, the Dawson's Loot, and
I mean,
etc.
having junk permanent is...
It's probably still fine.
Yeah, because it increases their permanent count, and it's rounded up, so you don't really lose out on anything. Anyways, game 2 is underway. Mako gets...
I don't know how I feel about this hand.
Well,
It doesn't really have much going for it.
I think
And
you
they
still
also can
keep
turn
this,
one.
because like you have a decent curve, you have some cards. Well, anyways, Mako, yeah.
Oh, finding gates, but only one land.
Yeah, that's a horrible hand.
Colorless, punished with the one of Brian's play.
They're gonna have to mulligan this. And
this looks like a fine 5.
yeah,
But we also don't have blue sources. That isn't. But we do have double profit in history, so we can like.
yeah, I think
We can turn 5 clock.
you bomb Bell's Descent and Reflected Moment here. But no, Mako decides to bomb with the Profane Emissaries. I feel like that's a mistake because...
Definitely want the emissary in hand.
Yeah, you want the clock.
Because, yeah. And it looks like Ambrose brought Core and of Lies. What does it do? It does nothing, right? Oh, I see. They can hard cast it because of all the junk permanents.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow, this is a pretty good draw, if you ask me.
From both players? Well, Ambrose would probably want to land here, but they have another shot at getting a land next turn.
Yeah, I mean, from Mako, because he needed the blue source for the neutralize.
Yeah.
But after this answer midnight call gets neutralized, Ambrose kind of doesn't have anything going on.
But the problem is Mako going to keep up blue for neutralize next turn instead of just playing out Profane Emissary? I mean, the correct play would definitely be to keep up neutralize, but Mako might just be tempted by the Profane Emissary.
I mean, keeping a land here is fine. Like, if you keep a land and that makes your opponent's game plan entirely irrelevant, that is pretty good to me.
I mean, yeah.
Like, you just play a land here and pass.
I mean, that's correct play, but is Mako going to know that? Or is Mako going to see that?
I mean, he did bring counters in.
Okay, good.
Yeah, okay.
Mako didn't just throw the game.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, if Ambrose fails to draw a land here, well, I mean, it didn't happen, but if Ambrose did fail to draw a land there, then Ambrose just gets a pass, and then somehow that actually works out pretty well for Ambrose because now Mako wastes their mana for a turn. But luckily, or I guess, well, it depends on how you see it, but Ambrose is going to jam Answer Midnight's Call and get it countered.
I mean, you could try to wait like 4 turns or whatever, but it's pretty bad to me. Okay?
Yeah,
That is neutralized.
Playing Strange to neutralized.
And let's see if Ambrose draws another one next turn.
Well, I think...
Reflected Moment.
Does Mako just pass the turn keeping up Karaja Hedegax? Because that's also a counter spell.
I think that's a proper emissary moment for sure. Like, you can't just call up counters, because the show and tell player will eventually cast 7 drops.
But like at the same time, you're super afraid of Ambrose having another show and tell. Well, anyways, Mako plays out the Profane Emissary and gets rewarded because Ambrose doesn't actually have anything else in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like keeping Karaja Hedegax up isn't that bad either, because even if Ambrose does nothing, you still get to cycle it, I guess.
Cycling seems pretty bad here because you do want to actually... Okay, there's this in the mail, but only 2 card types in graveyard.
Well, it doesn't matter. Now you get to pass a turn holding up Karaja Hedegax, and now you're safe from Ambrose top decking a show and tell effect.
Yeah, I mean, you could also just draw with Karaja, but yeah, holding it up seems better.
Into the woods. Not what you want.
That's one turn closer to Valor.
Actually, yeah, good point. Wait, do you have the right colors for Valir? Like, can they actually produce
red and white? So no.
Yeah, so
but they can't play car next turn, if they draw land.
Right.
What does it do? Except target non-creature permanents. Reveal the top 4 cards. Put a permanent card from among them onto the battlefield.
Yeah, pretty good.
Interesting. So they can like blow up a land, I guess.
Yeah, blow up a land, and then maybe if they flip into one of their top end creatures, then they're pretty happy.
Yeah.
But does Karaja Hedegax counter? No, it doesn't counter planeswalkers, or it doesn't bounce planeswalkers.
Just any spell. Artifact and Chamber spell.
Yeah. Well, it's spell, right? It does bounce.
There is a Forest Fellowship. It's like a very easy counter target to me.
Yeah. So Ambrose tries to jam the Forest Fellowship. Mako bounces it with Karaja Hedegax.
Yeah.
And now Mako
has already at 7.
Yeah, and now Mako has 1 turn to find something to prevent Ambrose from Forest Fellowshipping next turn. Does Mako have hand
And
attack in her deck anywhere?
I don't think so. Let me check.
No.
Yeah, that seems like an oversight to me, not gonna lie. But
So
I guess I could find like that card in the mysteries do even anything. No, right? Because it don't have a lot of cryptic spells. Balance Sand seems pretty bad here as well.
maybe just thin for Neutralize or something. Well, no, Neutralize isn't.
Yeah, that worked. Wait,
Well,
if you don't cast a spell, you can put it into your hand.
Yeah.
So
Mako
I mean, it doesn't really do much, but it feels like the correct play to me. For sure.
It means that if Ambrose doesn't draw a land next turn, then Forest Fellowship gets countered. But if Ambrose does draw a land, then they get to pay for Neutralize. So, but I think Mako's still going to go for that play because that's their best chance.
It still seems like the best play, but then for 3.
Yeah, they get the Neutralize. So they get to pass holding up Neutralize.
Is this the part okay play? Let's see if Ambrose draws land. Oh yeah, she does.
Well, okay.
So I mean, she can also just play Wizzerinus from here, and Wizzerinus can get countered but neutralize.
So do you have the right colors for Valyrian?
Yeah, like you find the white, and then Rampant Summit is red, and Nomad Township is black. Yeah, maybe honestly, Wizzerinus neutralize was not the best play. I don't know.
Well, no, you have no better options. If you don't get the neutralize here, then Forest Fellowship wrecks you.
I mean, it doesn't really wreck you unless Ambrose has the pirate thing in hand.
Oh.
But as we learned from the first match, Ambrose doesn't really go for the pirate play.
You mean Crane?
Yeah. Like, Forest Fellowship doesn't even wreck you that much. I guess Willer can tick up to kill Emissary.
And I think that probably is enough to get Ambrose to stabilize.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, mostly because, like, even if Mako plays, like, Bal Descent or whatever.
Sorry, Mako, you can't do that.
Judge.
Instant or sorcery. Mako realized it. So Valeria comes to play and then probably just clutches, right?
Yeah, probably just up to you can kill the Emissary.
Unless Ambrose wants a -5 and go for a second shot. I mean, Tyrant is pretty decent.
Work. So. Yeah, Tyrant blows up. No, Tyrant's not that good, right? Like, I guess you blow up lands.
You kill 3
and
things.
Then you kill a 6/6.
And then now you get to block the Profane Emissary, and you also gain some life. I guess if Mako has a land plus a kill him well in hand, they get to kill the Tyrant immediately and start attacking again with Profane Emissary, but that's pretty unlikely. And yeah, Ambrose just goes for...
What are you can cast here? I guess Tyrant.
5. Yeah.
That's Tyrant, yeah. So there goes 3 lands.
Yeah.
And then Ambrose goes for 8, which is probably enough to stabilize.
Mako just concedes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there was some sequence with draws that could have saved Mako, but I don't think Mako really wants to play it out.
So, yeah, I think the thing that lost Mako the game is keeping Bal Descent in hand on Mulligan.
I definitely agree with that.
Like, if Mako had 2 proper mysteries and neutralize, this is pretty unbeatable.
Did they have any time to play the second Profane Emissary if they even kept it?
Yeah.
Because
on turn 3, you would have the Emissary and the blue mana.
Oh, yeah, but you used Neutralize on turn 2, and then on turn 3, you played your first Profane Emissary.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, yeah, that Emissary did like 4 hits or 3 hits, so I'm pretty sure it was time.
Yeah.
This hand looks fine, double counter, and Ambrose mulliganing.
Well, that's not that good. They need to draw a threat.
Yeah, this is probably just bottom Farseek or Into the Woods.
Yeah, one of the ramp spells.
Fracture for the opposing emissaries.
Mako leads off on...
Mako gonna Dark Bargain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then he doesn't even have... I guess I don't need blue in turn 3. Wait.
What? Right, you need blue in
turn 3. Yeah, you need blue in turn 3, but you can get it.
Right, from Shifting Morass.
Yeah. That lens doesn't... Okay, go.
Well, I mean, you'll need to play Dark Bargain on turn 1, I guess.
I guess.
But like at the same time, life doesn't matter in this matchup, so you're free to just fetch all your pain lands and start taking damage from them.
Ember is gonna find something.
Ooh, they top deck Precursor Sanctum. Yeah, now they have something to do with all their mana.
Potentially, yeah. This has got 4 to activate, yeah.
Ooh, they have Crane in
there. Lord Aris and Crane. This is a pretty good card in this matchup.
Yeah,
and you screw the party in combo and your opponent loses. Another Dark Bargain? I guess a Dark Bargain Shifter.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe they draw into a Dawson's Loot or something that lets them use their colorless mana. Another Borrow's Descent. Yeah. Actually, does Mako's deck have any way to discard cards from hand?
Yeah, I don't think they have anyways. I guess Bad Descent can discard cards.
Ah, right. You discard your second Bell's Descent off your first Bell's Descent, which actually doesn't sound that bad.
It's legendary anyway.
Yeah. Ambrose draws yet another land, which is not what they want, but not the worst thing in the world with Precursor Sanctum.
Yeah. So let's see if Amber's gonna hold up Fracture. I guess not. This doesn't cost like 4 mana. And Profane Emissary. I mean, Profane Emissary would be a pretty good thing to counter, but also not playing Ramp here seems like a liability.
Yeah.
Okay, Amber's gonna ramp.
Ambrose is just hoping Mako doesn't have anything too threatening on 3, which is actually pretty true because Mako doesn't really have anything that they can't drop on 3 that's too threatening other than Profane Emissary.
Yeah. Or Ringish too, I guess.
Right, but there are creatures that die to Ellison, Crane.
Yeah.
Ambrose fetching out their land and passing. Mako cracks their shifting.
That doesn't really do much, right?
Like resource, not really.
I guess like a thing you can hold up while holding up Negate. Draws with the one in play word.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. You want to get card taps into your yard.
Yeah, I guess. That's true.
And then I guess they pass holding up Negate.
Yeah.
So if Ambrose tops deck, well, there we go. Answer Midnight's Call on turn 4.
Yeah. So good. There comes that Midnight Call, it gets neutralized, hopefully.
Yeah, but Mako might just go for Negate because it spends their mana better, but that would be a big mistake because now it leaves them vulnerable to Planeswalkers under Precursor Sanctum next turn.
Yeah.
So let's see if Mako plays correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Ambrose is thinking pretty hard too about whether they should just hold on to their Answer Midnight's Call and wait until they have enough mana for Profactor backup. I think the answer is no because, well, actually, maybe it's play your fetch land tap this turn and pass, and then next turn you try Precursor Sanctum, get a counter, then turn after that you answer Midnight's Call with Profactor backup.
Right? Oh no, it's on the slot straight. I see.
Yeah, so I think that's what Ambrose is going for. They're going to next turn Precursor Sanctum, and then the turn afterwards answer Midnight's Call with Profactor backup. And Mako does not end of turn Psychostatic Resourcefulness, which I do find kind of weird because I don't think there's any other use for it.
Play. They can play Paleontologists, but it seems like a pretty big mistake when Precursor Sanctum's in play.
Yeah, I think you just play of Dark Bargain.
Dark Bargain, yeah.
Yeah, and keep up 2 counter spells.
Mm-hmm. Also, notably, Ambrose has 4 card types now, so.
Well, Precursor Sanctum doesn't have 1 or less anymore. But right, Profactor, right?
Yeah. Project Daggers.
More counters.
Pretty good against Sanctum, yeah. Yeah, this is probably just finding the basic.
Well, no. If they're going to find basic, then why did they play Mysterious Karak untapped?
Yeah, that's something I don't understand either.
Well, either way, they drew another Profactor, so they're going to try to force Precursor Sanctum, I think. Well, actually, maybe Ambrose just wants to wait until Mako tries to combo off and then counter it with Profactor, and then once Mako's tapped out, then Ambrose goes for their combo.
That could work.
Well,
you could also just cast Torrent of Tribute, and Mako doesn't have counters to that.
Well, yeah, but that's really far away.
Actually,
yeah, I
guess it's
Karaja Hex does bounce creature spells, so.
Oh, yeah.
Ambrose is going to play Mysterious Karak untapped. Well, yeah, right,
so
because
for.
Yeah, they're going to, I guess, fetch for basic and then activate Sanctum. No, they're still going to wait.
It's a pretty weird play, which you don't fully understand.
Well,
there's land that lets them. Well, they can't really play Paleontologist, right? Because like doing a double counter, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I think Ambrose is just waiting because they want Mako to tap out a bit more and Profactor so that they can go for their own combo a bit more undisrupted.
So it's a very weird position to be in because if you don't play anything here, then Ambrose just draws lands and eventually gets 8 for Tyrant. But if you do play something here, then double, like Portal Fracture with AMC also puts Tyrant in play.
Actually, right, Ambrose can just Profactor here, and if Mako tries to tap out for it, then suddenly Ambrose has an opening to resolve their.
Like, if you Fracture Cure, it seems pretty easy to just not pay for it. But actually, they have double fractures, so it just doesn't matter. I see. Okay. So, Paleontologist, gonna put 4 card types in graveyard.
Yeah, they get to dump their.
Artifact enchantment.
Well, they already have an enchantment in
they
guard.
can. Yeah, they do have enchantment. So I guess they get.
They get their tribal land, and then they get one of the fossils.
Yeah.
Dawson's Loot.
Dawson's Loot.
That feels like the wrong artifact to bin. You want to get the fossils into the yard because at least they have some use there.
Yeah, this seems like a comparative bear play. Okay, find the bullet.
Unless Mako boarded out all their fossils, which would make sense.
Yeah, that could be true. I thought it would gate up, but then gate's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, so I think Ambrose will be able to resolve their big thing next turn.
So I guess Tyrant of Tributes resolves and Mako sacks the lands.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Ambrose can also try to. Well, no, they can't Precursor Sanctum because they don't have enough mana to do that and keep up Portal Fracture. Well, there's a backup answer Midnight's Call in case this one goes awry.
They also made the tokens with a fracture, which could matter.
Well, here's the answer Midnight's Call.
There's Neutralize, I guess.
Neutralize or negate. Either one works. Either one gets countered.
Negate is worse because, like, Crane.
Yeah, right.
Exile. Okay, so Fracture makes tokens.
Oh, and Portal Fracture making the tokens actually matters here because now Ballast Descent doesn't kill the Tyrant Tributes, assuming Mako could have cast it, which...
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so it's like 2 lands.
Yeah. Yeah, because, right, if Ambrose didn't have the tokens there, then next turn Mako goes land, Ballast Descent, and then now the board's pretty even again. But now Mako's dealing with a 6/6 that's going to beat down.
I guess you can try to play Karaja and neither Neutralize. That probably makes Mako want to play Karaja and kill a 1/1, but...
That's, well, I mean... Yeah, I think
also the better way to play that out is to Karaja on the end step. Okay, there is a Karaja, and I guess it means Sanctum.
Well, you play
some things.
I think you play Karaja as a Planeswalker because you might as well do that. Make your opponent waste some power attacking.
You kind of want to. You don't want to tap out this turn for Crane, I think, because if Ambrose draws Crane this turn, then they just discard double both Ballast Descent.
Well, Ambrose already has Crane under the Precursor Sanctum, and they're probably going to play it.
But...
Well, right, Karaja can bounce the Crane under the Sanctum.
You can also just negate the Crane, and then, like...
Right, but then
Wow. I mean, you take 8 here, Birdisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, I mean, honestly, the weird thing is the Crane kind of still resolves because of the counter.
I mean, actually, I think... Well, you negate the Crane, and then you end up turning Zach Resourcefulness to try to dig for something.
Yeah, that is a very good play.
Or never mind, you get.
But it also depends on whether Ambrose actually tries to cast. Okay, Ambrose tries to cast it.
I mean, they are going to try to cast it, right? Because there's no downside to doing that.
Yeah, like Mako just has to find Thin the Veil. Because if Mako finds Thin the Veil, that seems like a pretty good position to be in.
Mako still doesn't have enough card types for Thin the Veil for 6. So, well, yeah, negate.
Yeah, there are 6 card types with the Polypools.
Oh, right. Polypools is Underlands. So yeah, Mako does have an out here, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I guess Mako also can draw Callum, and that also does stop because Ambrose doesn't have anything else going on.
Okay, never mind. Mako should have ended turn Zach Resourcefulness because they need to dig towards Thin the Veil because that's their only out. Yeah, if they Zach Resourcefulness, maybe they're 1 card away from
they could
going back.
Resourcefulness this turn.
No, they don't have enough mana for Thin the Veil.
Yeah, but they had mana for Callum.
Yeah, that doesn't really delay their death. So, does it? Well,
it kind of does. Oh, no, it doesn't because there is structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, Mako kind of threw the game too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they didn't tap out for Paleontologist there, then they would have enough counter spells to stop Ambrose. But at the same time, if you were just keeping up counter spells that turn instead of playing Paleontologist, then you're not advancing your board state, right? And then Ambrose just plays lands until they can naturally cast their big stuff. But I guess all of that's in hindsight, so I don't really know if Mako made the right play there or not with the information that they had. But either ways, so that's the first game of GP Florence. A pretty exciting game. You can expect more exciting games from this GP, and hopefully I'll be there to cover all of them, or at least a decent portion of them.